Good Wednesday morning, I think, if anybody's out there watching. And if they're not, I don't care, because here we sit for another of TC's Drive Time Dialectics. And if you don't know what the word dialectic is, go look it up. It'll make perfect sense. Sometimes the angle makes me look so fat. Might be because I'm so fat. Why do you matter, and why do I matter, for that matter? I guess that's hard to say. A week and a half ago, really, I did a video with several other gentlemen. Some of you don't like. Some of you do like. Some of you don't know. But here's what I do know, is that video, for its minute amount of views, I mean, I think we're at 150 views on that, on my YouTube channel. Somebody shared with me that it was restreamed and has 2,000 and some views through a restream. So my channel doesn't get any credit for the restream. Anyway, it looks like I had a little bit of a pause. Lost signal for a second. That's what happens when you do a drive time dialectic, right? But anyway, that video had 2,000 and some views through a restream, and I really would appreciate if that restream would direct traffic back to my channel. That'd be great. That video stirred up a lot of controversy, and I've gotten a lot of heat for it. I mean, a lot of heat for that roundtable discussion, the roundtable of disenfranchised. I've had people make comments to the effect of, well, if the inner city black community wants the Republicans to reach out to them, then they need to put the effort into reaching out to the Republicans. I've had other people say that the couple of the people involved in the conversation are con artists and thugs, and one of them will tell you he was a thug. One of them will tell you he was. There are people who say they don't believe that the conversation as a whole was genuine and that it was all just a sham to sucker people. But I've had one candidate for office who has watched the video and said that he's taken it to heart, and he himself, as a candidate for office, has noted that the Republicans do say an awful lot about wanting to reach the inner cities, and yet do very little. And here's what I want to say about the Minnesota GOP. They have the platform to have the answers to the problems of the inner city on a socio-political level. They do. They absolutely do have the platform. If they would get back to being the small, decentralized government people that they are, or should be, this conversation would not even be necessary, because they would be out there promoting themselves as the small, decentralized, small government, anti-authoritarian people that they claim to be. But as is so often the case, and people like Spike Cohen, and I call her my friend Monica Perez of Deep Dives with Monica. I say friend just because there's that, my connection, my fellow podcaster, and she's way out of my league, by the way, as is Spike. They have variances of this where they say the Democrats promise you tyranny and deliver you tyranny. The Republicans promise you liberty but deliver you tyranny. And that's really what it is. It's true, but there's also something else going on, in that in the state of Minnesota, allegedly conservative Republicans aren't really conservative. They're not even really traditionalists, for that matter. They're just not hard left like the DFL. And there is a strain of soft bigotry within the Republican Party. It's different than the bigotry and the ethnic superiority you see in the DFL in Minnesota. The bigotry and the ethnic superiority in the DFL says that white folk in Minnesota have the responsibility to ease the burden of all the other people, because all the other people's burdens are the result of the white folk, and therefore it's the job of the white folk to help everybody, which is really saying that nobody can do anything without the white folk making sure that they have the ability to do it. Which is absolutely, if you want to use the term racist, it's racist. It's literally racist. The DFL, the leftists in Minnesota, look at all the minorities and say, you can't accomplish anything without us doing it for you. The Republicans say, we can't accomplish anything for you because you vote Democrat, so we're just not even going to bother with you, which is just soft bigotry. We're not going to take the time, the effort. But here's what the Republicans did do. Because one of the accusations in the video is that I'm out here pleading with the Republicans to basically pander to the black people, and that black people want to be pandered to. That was the accusation. If you don't believe me, go on my wall. You can read the conversation where somebody said, why should we pander to the black community? I didn't say it. I never suggested it. Somebody else said, why should the GOP pander to black folks? So then answer this question for me, all of you hardcore vote GOP no matter what people, because I was one of them at one time. Why should we pander to the Somali community? Why did the Minnesota GOP open an office for Somalis? The Minnesota Republican Party opened a Minnesota Republican Party Somali office in Minneapolis. For that's all it is. The name is inclusive and self-descriptive. Why? Isn't that pandering? Well, it's because they want to beat Ilhan Omar. And everybody wants to beat Ilhan Omar. Like, even Ilhan's friends don't want her in office anymore. Came out of nowhere to win that seat. She's a nobody. She's a nothing in the sense of she doesn't offer anything. She damn sure hasn't done a damn thing for her 5th district. So everybody wants her out of there. Even other lefties want her out of there. But she's not going to get unseated. But the Minnesota GOP is going to pander to the conservative wing of the Somali community, but they're not going to pander to anybody else? Well, they pander to white soccer and hockey moms in the suburbs. Because, can't win without them. So there's a lot of accusations about my motivation. I've had people call into question my conservative creds. I don't give a damn, people. Who are you? I don't care how long you've known me. Who are you to question my conservative credentials? Because I'm not taking the tack that you want me to take. This is why the Minnesota GOP doesn't deserve to win. And for a couple of people, it came down to, I want to know right now, are you supporting Scott Jensen? What's it matter if I'm supporting Scott Jensen? If I'm starting conversations, if I'm opening the door for conversations to be had, even if a couple of the people in that conversation are scammers, and they're trying to con people into believing that they've changed, haven't we opened the door to conversation? Isn't that all that matters? That we've had the opportunity now. So then maybe these people get exposed. Doesn't that matter? And quite frankly, why does your opinion of my nobody not reach anyone channel matter? And I've had numerous people message me and say, you know, nobody pays attention to your content, right? Like, these are people who have been friends, people that I've met at events and rallies, who say to me, now, because I came out and called out the Minnesota GOP for their lackluster performance in the inner city of Minneapolis and in the metro area, now we're like, nobody pays attention to your content. You have such a small channel. You have such a small platform. You have such a small following. Who cares? Then why did you watch? Or why did you pay attention to the comment section? Why did you feel the need to contact me? Why did you feel the need to reach out to me? And in the case of one individual, he felt that he was slandered. I opened the lines of communication between him and the individual that he believed slandered him. But here's something else. When I have someone on my show, if they say something that you don't like, that's not my problem. You understand? If someone says something on my show that you don't like, go to them. I don't owe you a platform. I owe anybody else a platform. It's my platform. I'm not here to be your performative monkey to dance and do what you want me to do so that you don't feel like I'm crossing a line. I don't care who you are. Connection issues again. I've had people say to me that they don't like the fact that I don't come out in strong support of Jensen or Trump or anybody else for that matter. I've never been a strong supporter of Trump. I have people mad at me because I don't talk favorably about QAnon. Guess what? QAnon's a fake. It's a sham. And if you're falling for QAnon, it's because you haven't taken the time to intellectually, reasonably, and logically interact with the reality that QAnon is literally deep state misinformation meant to make you think that QAnon is real. It's an age-old tactic. Tried and true. QAnon is a sham. But there's so many people out there still holding on. Telling me. I've still got people insisting that Governor Walz has already been arrested. I got people insisting that Biden's been arrested. I literally just had someone else come on and tell me that, what was it? Yeah, it was like Trump's going to be back in office before the middle of September. Are you kidding me? So why do you matter? If you can fall for that and QAnon is real to you, then what's it matter about my content, whether it be my video content or my postings on Facebook, any of it? Why does it matter a hill of beans? And why do I matter, for that matter? If my platform and my following are so inconsequential and so minuscule, and quite frankly, I understand that. I mean, I got a couple of videos that are way up in the, the 4,000s and 3,000s and whatnot, as far as views, but that's nothing. I don't care. If you don't like my platform, or if you think I'm inconsequential, or if you think that I'm minuscule, then don't watch my crap, okay? Don't. But also, don't reach out to me and complain when people say things you don't like. I don't care. I'm over caring about what people's opinions on matters are if they're not actually doing something, and if the only thing that you can do is spend your time complaining that my inconsequential, go nowhere, do nothing platform with no followers isn't saying all of the right stuff, then you're no better than the Marxist left who try to cancel everybody for saying things that they don't like. It's literally the truth. And one of my friends who commented on some of those posts was attacked for being a pothead along with me. Never smoked a joint in a day in my life, but we were attacked for being potheads because we weren't saying the things that they wanted us to say. Are you kidding me? Like, literally, outside of maybe 2 people in the state of Minnesota who haven't lost loved ones over the last 2 years, excuse me, there are very few people in the state of Minnesota who have sacrificed for their principles and their ethics and their beliefs the way that I have. Does that sound arrogant and prideful? I don't give a damn. I don't care if you think that sounds arrogant and prideful, because like I said, no one in the state of Minnesota, outside of a couple of people, a couple of them being business owners, lost what I've lost for standing for what I believe in. So you don't matter, but neither do I. That ultimately that's the truth. So if I don't matter, if my platform is, and I keep coming back to this, I want this to sink in. If I don't matter and my platform is small and I don't have a following, then stop freaking commenting. Hey Cruzito, I see you're out there. Why I haven't seen your name pop up in a long time, brother. I don't know why you bother to comment or reach out to me to complain about the fact that my inconsequential platform doesn't mean anything, or that I'm a sellout. And I got news for you. I'm not a sellout. I am who I am. Sometimes say things a little differently than I would have a few years ago. Sometimes I say things a lot more tenderly and gently than I would have a few years ago. But I know I'm a no one. Like, I know how much of a nobody I am. Trust me. I had a conversation with a young lady yesterday, and we were talking about where we have found ourselves over the last year. And as it relates to the kind of work that we do in our respective environments now. And both of us have come from a ostensibly public service career field. She on the medical side and me on that law enforcement corrections end. I went to work every day for 13 years having a desire to have a positive impact on somebody who was incarcerated for some reason. She went to work every day of her career in the medical field hoping to have a positive impact on somebody. And both of us recognized and understood that the reality of our former careers was that no matter how bad our day may be going, the people that we were dealing with on that day were having a day that was far worse than the day that we had had. Some of them were looking at losing their freedom, and others were looking at maybe losing their lives. And to walk into that environment for her and for me, the desire was to leave them better off when we left than when we met them. Now, both of us find ourselves in positions where what we do doesn't matter. I'm easily replaceable. No one would miss me if I stopped going to work. No one would care if I disappeared. I don't matter. My platform doesn't matter. And I know the reality of that. If I cease to exist today, no one will be worse off for it. Because I don't matter. And I'm reminded of that constantly. Because I don't impact anybody anymore. I can't help anybody anymore. And that's what I've learned about this movement. Ultimately, the Patriot movement in Minnesota, and really across the United States, it's going to die the death of inconsequentiality, if you will. Because the only voices that anybody wants to listen to have these massive platforms with millions of followers. They all want to glom on to the Tucker Carlsons and the Sean Hannitys and the Dennis Pragers and Ben Shapiro's and on and on and on and on and on. They all want those people to pay attention to them. They all want those people to say what they're saying so that they don't feel like they're insane. And I got news for you people. Those people don't care about you, and they only say the things that they say because it drives their ratings up in a desert wasteland of leftist moronic viewpoints and disconnected comfort-seeking Roman citizens who want to be entertained to death. So all of your big talking heads, your Mitch Bergs and your Stu Peters and all of these people who have these big platforms right now, they'll drop you like a hot potato when the new story comes along. But I'm the one who pursues people and says, hey, how are you doing? How are things going? That's not enough. And there are others out there like me. But I don't matter. Because I rock the boat. Because I'm not going to necessarily stand up and applaud the talking heads in their fight to take walls down. What's it matter if we take walls down if who we replace them with is just a soft tyrant? What's it matter? And what do you matter? And what do I matter for that matter? So if you don't like my content, I don't give a damn. Ultimately, I really don't do it for you. Ultimately, why I do what I do is because what matters the most to me is what I leave for my children and my grandchildren. I want to leave a republic that when I walk off the face of this earth, when I shuffle off this mortal coil, to quote Shakespeare, when I do that, and God, I hope it is soon, because I really don't want to be here anymore. I want a world that's better for them. Where they don't have to talk about whether or not we're headed for a civil war, whether or not they have my views. I don't want them to live in a world where our nation, our republic, is under a constant threat of oppression and tyranny. That's what matters to me. It's not about me, and it's not about you. It's about them. You don't like me, you don't like my content, you don't like something that someone says on one of my shows, I don't give a royal crap. Because until I see you doing something, what you do doesn't matter either. So why do you do what you do?